All right, guys, good morning. Good morning. Testing, just making sure this mic works. Good morning, everybody. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of G.A.R Capital. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join me today and every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on a Friday, March 4th, 2022. All right, let's go ahead and go over the market. Before we begin, bottom right-hand corner of your screen, click on that logo, turn on notifications, subscribe to our channel. Make sure to hit that like button if you like these videos. Really do appreciate it as always. Let's go ahead and get to it. The Dow futures are down 305 points. Nasdaq futures down 115. S&P futures down 38. Russell 2000 futures right down 1%. Crude oil continues to go up 3.36%, $111 currently, kind of hugging that 100-day moving average around 110.50. And then we also have gasoline futures up 3.42%. Some news that did come out, if I can get this going, that gasoline prices jumped 11 cents overnight to $3.84, which was it smashed the smashing single day record of a gain in gasoline prices. How about that? Silver futures up 0.77%, 25.40. Gold futures 19.50 an ounce, up 0.73%. Euro dollars down 156 pips. I hope I'm reading that right. Down 1.41%. Wow. And the dollar yen is down about 8 cents. The 10-year yields are actually down as well, 77 basis points, 1.767. And then we also have the dollar index up 1%, 98.78. So that's what's really hurting the market for the most part, is the dollar index. Take a look at that. You can see nice, big gain on the dollar. So again, I was expecting us to get a little bit of a pullback on it, but we did not. The VIX is up 10.6% at 33.71. So exactly what happened overnight? Bitcoin is down 1.71%. Sorry, Ethereum down nearly 3%. So what happened overnight that kind of shook the markets a little bit? We were actually futures were green around early in the session, around 6 to 7 as I was watching. What we had is that we had Russian forces hit a Ukrainian nuclear facility, but it wasn't the reactor that was hit. It was an administrative building, as I was reading. So again, that just kind of added more fuel to the fire of like, wow, this could get serious, because I believe it was the Ukrainian Ministry of Interior. I don't think it was the Ministry of Defense saying if that was hit, the reactor and it melted down, it would be 10 times worse than Chernobyl. So that's where some fears came out. There's no ceasefire anytime soon. There is still a war going on in the Middle East. So that's what's kind of holding out the markets here. Now, we are only down about 1% pre-market. I guess the threat of nuclear meltdown isn't enough to really get a real sell-off. 1% isn't really bigger than what we're used to nowadays with volatility. I mean, I read a really snide, smart tweet, and in a tweet that Josh sent me, he goes, 30 VIX is the new 20 VIX. I'm like, there you go. That's one way to say it. So taking a look at there was also today, some other news today, of course, non-farm payroll report. Non-farm payroll came in, 678,000 jobs added versus 423,000 jobs estimated added. That's pretty big. 3.8% is now the employment rate versus a 3.9% expectation. Labor force participation rate, 62.3%. That's better than the 62.2 estimate. There was also some revisions as well. The good news, big change, no wage inflation in the hourly earnings. So that's good. So the odds now for March 16th is that the Fed will only raise 25 basis points. So that's kind of what we're looking at with that being said. But again, really good jobs number. In terms of any kind of new news, Disney confirms to introduce an ad-sponsored subscription service for Disney Plus in late 2022. So let's see if they're up pre-market on that news. They are kind of getting to break even. They're about $1 away from break even, so they're down about $1. Disney on the news. So looking at the market here, again, we had a nice non-farm payroll, but just not enough right now. Seems like we're just kind of holding a holding pattern. I mean, yeah, sure, it's down 43 handles from the open in the session, but that 200-day seems to be holding up, and that's where I'm kind of looking at. I was looking at the actual 100-day as well. The 200-day seems to be that kind of bounce. You see that kind of a triple bottom here on the hourly. Could we get a little more weakness? I expected us to bounce up even with such good news. But again, the Russian headlines are kind of just throwing everything out of whack. So again, I don't have any real positions open. My Nvidia and PayPal positions are pretty much dead for the most part, but I don't have any other positions open. I have a Wells Fargo swing trade for calls for March 16th. So that's going to be a little bit. So again, I have about 12 days, about 2 weeks for that one. That's right where the Fed speaks. So again, other than that, just pretty much watching and seeing what we get. All right, let's answer some questions here. Good morning. Yes, that's my wife's birthday yesterday. It was fun. Had some dinner, enjoyed some drinks. I mean, pretty much chilled. That's all you can do. Hey man, thanks a lot for please SPY calls. Let's take a look at SPY together. Yeah. Okay, we did trade SPY yesterday actually. We had the 440 calls and we hit that. So for SPY again, I'm gonna see if we get to around 428. Maybe we can get a possible bounce. But for the most part, I would say I do think we're gonna bounce here, but I gotta see how we're gonna open in the morning. Again, a lot of pessimism this morning in the futures market. Let's see if we get a little bit of reversal. Right now, you're just in no man's land. Really nothing to do. A break of 437.07 or a breakdown of 425.04. That's really all you can do with SPY. So again, we just have to wait and see. Seems again like a triple top here again. Seems to be we're just kind of consolidating here. Not much going on. Did y'all sell oil companies? What would be your plan if you did not? I already sold my oil position, my XOP. That's out. So that's done with. Again, I'm expecting oil, again, kind of just hold around here. We're right at the 50. If we expand, you could see, guys, 111.55. We seem to be just kind of holding right at 114, 115. And the last time we were at, these kind of peaks was Crimea. And that was something to do with Russia too. The highest we had was in 2008, 147.27. Again, these kind of oil moves are not really sustainable long term. So I expect them to reverse back down. We'll kind of get back to around 70 to 80. That won't happen overnight, but you'll get some spikes here and there. But I don't see us breaking about 116 at all. Again, unless we get something really, really disturbing news in terms of the Russia-Ukraine front. That I can't speak of. I have no idea. What would be your top 3 tech names if you plan to add? I would go with Google for sure. I love Nvidia too. And of course, Microsoft or Apple. Any of those are great. Are you bullish on fuel prices? I mean, bullish, I really can't trade gas. I mean, I could trade gas futures. We could take a look at that. Go to RB. Let's go ahead and bring this up. Well, looks like we're starting to get to resistance. Look familiar, huh? 363.10. That's your highest that we've had since 2008. So we could play a similar there. But again, we're starting to get to, this is multi-year resistance, guys. Multi-year resistance. Let me see, there you go. Let me see if I can bring up the weekly. That's 3 years. Yeah, that's a 3-year chart. Let's see, max. Yep. As you can see, gasoline is starting to creep up to the weekly, to the high. So very, very interesting. This is back from 2008. We're talking about 12 years later. And this is where we are. That's pretty crazy. But again, we're starting to hit resistance. Just be very careful. I wouldn't want to jump into longs here on fuel or energy, that's for sure, because we may just get that rejection. So again, if you have some oil stocks that you just want to hold long term, go for it. But I took some profit, and so did Investment Club. If they held some, that's cool. But again, I'm out. I'm happy. Is Square a buy here? Again, I'm not looking forward to buying any kind of new stocks as of yet, and I'll explain why. Because we have so much uncertainty. Again, I love Square. I own Square. But looking at the daily, nothing has changed. Again, if we start breaking trend to the upside, yeah, it will be a good chance to start buying. Why do I say not yet to buy? Because we're looking at S&P futures, and I put a note out. We may just get to 4,500, guys, and just reject too. Again, there's no guarantee that we're just going to get higher and higher right away. 4,500 is a huge level because that's the September highs from this year. If we can break above 45.38, I'd be very, very impressed, and I would say the worst is over. But again, we could just start chopping around here for a little bit. So again, there's no rush to really buy anything as of yet. But 42.52 seems to be holding that support for now. That's the October lows from last year. But again, nothing could change, and we could just get to 4,500 and just come back down a little further and continue the trend line down. So again, just be a little patient. We'll wait for a little bit of a turn in trend and go from there. But 44.60 is your 200-day. That's a level that I'm really, really looking at. So 4,400 first, then 44.60. A break above the 200-day would tell us a lot. A sustained break above the 200-day of the red line would really tell me a lot. But right now, we haven't broken trend, guys. You could scalp here and there, bullish scalps here and there, calls, yes, I'm all with it. I've done it. But long-term swings as of yet, or long-term move, we just have to wait. Good news is that we're getting lower, we're getting higher highs and higher lows. Okay, we just have to wait it out. There's so much uncertainty in terms of the Europe conflict. At least with the Fed, we kind of know what we're going to get. That's good news. But in terms of the Russia stuff, I mean, there's a lot of catalysts out there that could be bullish, but we actually have to have them first. That's kind of the waiting game. If Russia takes a hold of Kiev, that will be the start of a downtrend heading to raising rates. That could be absolutely true. We don't know what could happen. I can't sit here and say I'm a geopolitical expert because I have no idea. All I can do is just show you guys and report what's happening and how it affects the market in terms of price action. In terms of global macro, yes, of course, commodities will be hurt. But I mean, the last thing we would want. Listen, guys, if we have a world war, I think the last thing you guys will give a crap about is your stocks. You have nuclear war, all this is for naught. It doesn't really matter, anyways. I'm not saying we're going to have one, but for those that are saying, oh, we're going to have a nuclear war, then what the hell are you doing here? Why are you working? I would quit my job immediately. I would just take all my money and go to Vegas and have the most fun I can before I die, in a sense. So again, for those who are expecting Armageddon, maybe stocks are the last thing that should be on your mind, if that's what you expect. I hope not. How much does the pause in Russian market affect U.S. stock market? Obviously not too much. I mean, we're only down 1% at the end of the day on the futures market. And if you look here, since February 24th, we've been stuck in a range between 4,400 and around 4,280. I mean, that's not exactly volatile. I mean, you get some swings here and there, but it's giving opportunities to traders. And at least that, embrace the volatility a little bit and see if you can profit from it from now. That's really all you can do. But is it really affecting us? I mean, yeah, you can see fuel prices, you can see commodities, but that's globally. That's not even just a U.S. issue. That's a global issue. So again, supply issues, demand issues. Now we have sanctions against Russia. It's a whole lot of things. And that's just the things that we have to just kind of navigate and wade through as we find opportunities in the market. But again, I still think gasoline is starting to hit resistance. Oil is starting to hit resistance. Again, I understand that people just expect things to go up and up and up. But commodities are not meant to jump 18% in 2 days or 3 days. That's not how it works. I mean, especially oil. That doesn't happen. That's usually a buying panic. Just like when oil went negative, that was a selling panic. And people thought they were going to stay negative forever? Come on. Give me a break. That's not how it works. World War by the invasion, right? Buy the death. Buy the death, sell the survival, basically. I mean, guys, I mean, I can't speak on that. I'm not sure if we're going to have World War III. I mean, that's pretty messed up to say. I don't know. I mean, but I think more likely, guys, the saying goes, it's never as bad as it looks. It's never as good as it seems. I mean, things will be okay. Things always level out. I mean, all we could do is all we could do. And that's it. And today we're looking at the market and see for opportunities. And we'll go from there. What do you think about cybersecurity industry stocks, strong bullish? Like CrowdStrike, Palantir? I own Palantir for sure. That is a defensive name. But CrowdStrike is fine if you want to own that long term, but I'm not in a rush to buy anything. So, I mean, right at this level, you have no real clear uptrend. You have a little bit of an uptrend short term, but you have no clear direction that we're bouncing back up. If anything, you're probably looking at a little more downtrend, and that's okay. But remember, the idea is to get the best price, not just today's price, get the best price. And yes, I did buy some stocks. I bought SpyG yesterday, but I buy it every Thursday. So that's just me. All right, guys, we're going to leave it there. Have a great rest of your Friday. We'll catch you guys later for the aftermarket recap at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll go over all the today's moves and answer your questions and set you up for the weekend. Have a great rest of your morning, and we'll catch you guys later today. Cheers.